be talking about why you need the grind, man, and why it's so important to get in grind mode. Um, so what is grinding? Let's start off with what is grinding. Grinding is, you working over a certain period of time, doing what you may not want to do, but doing what you need to do to get you to a certain place in life to where you can just relax and chill, right? Or to where you can have a quality life, right? So, like, why do we hear about the grind so much, or why do we talk about the grind? It's because it's important to grind no matter what you're going through, because that's what's going to get you far in life. That's what's going to get you further in life, by you grinding, by you doing, what needs to be done to get where you want to go. And grinding, that can mean being consistent with anything over a certain period of time, so that you can really get to where you need to go. And I think it's important to grind because we only got one life to live. So if we spend our life wasting time and just constantly throwing off tasks, then it's like, are we really doing what we need to be doing, or are we just doing what we feel like doing? You know, and doing what you need to be doing is way better than doing what you feel like doing. Because if you keep just putting off tasks every day, then it's like you're not gonna really gain nothing. You're not gonna really see any results in that. You're just gonna be constantly putting off tasks every day, and then you're gonna wonder why you're not seeing results or whatever. And it's because you're not in grind mode. You haven't got into the grind yet. And it's just so important to stay in grind mode, because grind mode is important for everyone. Like, no matter if you're a creator, no matter if you're an artist, no matter where you're a producer, whatever you're doing, because you want to make sure that the input on your craft is greater than the output on your craft. You know what I'm saying? You want to be making more than you're actually putting out, because that's going to help you stay ahead of the game all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so important to notice, because you don't want to run out of material, or you don't want to run out of um things that you need. You know what I'm saying? Oh, how you doing, Snow? But you don't want to run out of materials, or you don't want to run out of things that you need. um I mean, not material. Yeah, material. You don't want to run out of material, and you're just stuck having to make up. Today we're talking about grind mode. We're talking about why grind mode is important, and why you need to stay in life. And it all starts with being consistent. I know it's a hard thing to do, but being consistent is a very useful tool in your arsenal that you can use to be to get into grind mode. Or grind mode can also be staying up all night, staying up late hours to make sure you get your product done, or to make sure that you get everything done that you need to get done. Because it's just so important to know and realize that, you are capable of doing anything that you put your mind to. You are capable of doing things that you may not think you can do, you know, and um staying active and staying just on top of things. Like, you know how you go to the last minute, you procrastinate on tests and stuff in school. Like, that's a good tool that they're teaching you, not to procrastinate. My bad, y'all. Not to procrastinate, because it puts off things for a certain time. And I really just had a certain dream that I was behind on certain tests and stuff. And it was crazy because I never like got behind on any of my tasks, like for real, except for in college, you know. But I had a dream that I was getting behind on all my stuff. But you never want to be behind. You gotta treat your goal and your vision just like how you would treat schoolwork. So you want to do more than enough to get ahead of the game, to stay ahead of the game, to know that everything is already worked out. Everything is already in place for you. You know, you've already made enough material to carry yourself to a certain position. So it's like grinding just helps you get further. You know what I mean? It just helps you get further, and it may not be easy. Like, I'm not gonna sit on here and tell y'all that grinding is easy, because it's not. You have to find a flow and simply go with that flow. You know what I'm saying? You can't just jump into grind mode. I feel like it's all about finding a pace, a comfortable pace, and working at it. And as you work at it, you gain more knowledge along the way, and um you gain more you gain more knowledge, and you also gain more of a flow that you can get into. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as hard to make what you're putting out. Like if you're an artist and you get into a flow of making music, or making making music, or making if you get into a a a flow of making things or making music, then you know you will. Sorry, man, I got threw off, y'all. Um, if you get into a flow of making paintings, if you're an artist, if you get into a flow of it, then um you'll start to really know, and you'll start to really understand how the flow works. You know what I'm saying?